Thank you. 6:02 now. Breaking news this morning. Again, former President Donald Trump's federal indictment. The Secret Service is expected to meet with Trump's staff and security in the coming hours. They're working to make out a plan for his travel to his arraignment on these new charges. First, here's what we know this morning. A federal grand jury indicted the 44th president on charges of mishandling classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. Overnight, on the Truth Social platform, Trump doubled down on his innocence.
I'm an innocent man. They come after me because now we're leading in the polls again by a lot against Biden.
So that 7-count indictment involves the retention of national defense information, also conspiracy and obstruction.
And these charges are being filed in Florida, but Washington, D.C. is abuzz this morning. The political implications could be widespread, which is why we want to take you live to the nation's capital now with CNN's Gloria Pasmino. Good morning, Gloria. Thank you for joining us. We wanted to have you start by talking about what is in the indictment, the 7 charges, the 7 counts there.
Yeah, good morning, Tracy. That's exactly right. Big news here in Washington, D.C. and the entire nation, really, last night when we first learned directly from the former president who took to social media to say that he was expecting to be indicted, that he expected to be in a Miami courtroom next week. But we should be very clear and say that this indictment, as of right now, remains under seal. What that means is that we have not been able to lay eyes on the document ourselves. But through our reporting and speaking to sources and even hearing from the former president's lawyer last night, we know, as you mentioned, that there are at least 7 federal counts in that indictment, including the obstruction of justice charge. There is also a charge related to the destruction or falsifying of records. There is a conspiracy charge and making false statements. The details of all of this and exactly what the charges are and what alleged crime or event they pertain to will be learned when that indictment becomes unsealed, presumably on Tuesday when this hearing happens. You know, as you know, back in April, the president was facing criminal charges in New York City. That was a very different procedure in terms of it being a state case, not a federal case like what we're seeing now. But it is possible that the process will look somewhat similar.
So let's talk about that, the New York, and then we're going to be talking about Miami. Can you talk about what you're hearing in terms of security? We saw a lot of it play out in New York. What kind of security, since we know the Secret Service is going to be involved, since the former president, of course, has his own detail?
That's right. And we learned last night that the court marshals had not been giving any advance notice that this was happening. But we know that the Secret Service and Miami law enforcement will be working together to prepare what really is a massive security operation. It is already a big operation when any former or current president comes into anywhere at any time. This is a significant security operation considering the setting here. The former president showing up to a courtroom, a place where other proceedings are taking place. So we do know that local law enforcement is working with state and federal agencies to ensure that it can all be done safely and that they can respond to whatever other possible events might happen, whether there are supporters or detractors of the president, similar to what we saw in New York back in April.
All right, CNN's Gloria Pasmino joining us again this morning on Wake Up CBUS. Gloria, we thank you for your time.
Well, this morning we're hearing a reaction from Ohio elected leaders after Mr. Trump's indictment. Last night, Ohio Republican Senator J.D. Vance reacted to the news on social media, calling the indictment a moral and constitutional joke, saying Attorney General Merrick Garland disgraced the country. Republican Congressman Jim Jordan tweeted that this is a sad day for America. We are working to find reaction from Ohio Democrats this morning as well. Now, the story around the former president is complex, so we want to catch you up. CNN's Gloria Pasmino just touched on this a moment ago, but here's some more background. Back in March, the former president was criminally charged in New York. He's facing 34 counts of falsifying records and bribing adult film star Stormy Daniels. He pleaded not guilty. Then in May, he was found liable of sexual abuse in a civil case against columnist E. Jean Carroll. He's also under investigation for his connection to the January 6th insurrection. And in Georgia, he's under investigation for efforts to overturn the 2020 election. We will continue to keep you updated on this breaking news all day long. Make sure you have the 10 TV app downloaded so you never miss an update on this case. Angela?